What's up, grinders? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be doing a react to this video from Jeremiah. It's called You Missed the Best Language Learning Video Ever. And why am I doing a react to this one? It's got nothing to do with the fact that my face is right there in the thumbnail. Totally nothing to do with that. Although he seems to have done quite well off of my face. Look at those views. Yeah, man. Milk it. Milk it as much as you can. Okay, let's see what he's got to say.
Evildea so good. It's because it removes all the noise from language learning. Let's hear what he has to say.
This is how you learn a language. You grind. That's pretty much it. You sit there, you repeat hundreds of sentences a day, thousands of sentences a month, 200,000 plus sentences a year, and you do that for 1 or 2 years, and guess what?
Okay, let's compare. How do I look with hair versus no hair, guys? Come on, this is like, I don't know, this might be... Actually, I think this video is over an old, like a year old now. Like, this is an old video. When we talk about in the grand scheme of things on YouTube since my comeback, this is like one of my first since I came back.
What, you will be really, really good at your language and get a sentence with some audio. Probably not the best sentence. It's saying in the colony lots of people were slaughtered, and you repeat the sentence. 殖民地有很多人被残杀, and you do that hundreds of times a day, which will take you probably 1 to 2 hours depending on how much you repeat each sentence. I like to do 3 times. Then you do that every day, which obviously is going to clock up a lot of repetitions, and then you do that every month, and you do it every year, and you eventually lose your sanity. That's how you learn a language. You don't need fancy courses. You're not going to learn this in a week.
Obviously, when I was making this video, I was showing one way to learn a language. What I was stressing with this video is the fact that you need to do a lot of repetition, okay? And you need to do it every single day for thousands of different sentences. How you do that repetition is up to you, but this is my preferred method. It's my preferred method when you're kind of like a low to intermediate type of level. Obviously, you need to learn pronunciation and stuff before that.
Day in 3 months, maybe in a year, depending on the language, you could possibly pull it off. A simple language that's close to your own, or a design language like Esperanto, totally possible. But apart from that, it's really that simple. So forget all these language learning videos out there. In fact, you can pretty much end this video right here.
All right, will do, buddy. All right, so...
Oh, God, I love it.
The reason why I chose to talk about this video today is because this video has had a profound impact on the way I learn languages. And this is because when I first started learning languages, I was a fan of the comprehensible input hypothesis and Stephen Kaufman, right? Steve Kaufman. And I basically thought that flashcards were completely unnecessary. You shouldn't do them.
I'm not sure if he wants Steve Kaufman or Stephen Crash in there. Like it was like, are they the same person? I don't know if this is what was going through his head, but sometimes in my head, that's what happens. I just see 2 old white dudes, and I think they're both the same person.
And that comprehensible input was everything. And so that's what I did. I spent all of my time reading and looking up words with comprehensible input. I then found AJAT, and I thought that I was wasting my time and that flashcards were everything. So then I started doing a massive amount of flashcards. And then I found Refold, and I thought, wait, I'm doing too much flashcards. Let me just sentence mine 10 cards a day and just focus on watching Netflix. So I did that for a long time. And then I found the MBJ method, and then I thought, oh, I'm wasting all my time watching with subtitles. Let me just focus entirely on listening. And I jumped from method to method to method, each time thinking that one method was the golden ticket, and everything else that I had learned before it was simply wrong or incorrect, right? And this is a very erroneous way of thinking that really sets people back and gives people misconceptions of what language learning actually is. Watching this video made me realize that none of my previous methods were wrong. They were all just different interpretations and different ways of applying this one core technique, which really is just understanding and repeating sentences. As long as you're doing some form of that, that's how you're going to make progress.
Yep, that's pretty much it. That was the point of the video, so he understood the point of the video. That's good. That was the point of most of my videos at that time. At the end of the day, these methods, some are more efficient, some are less efficient, some you might find more interesting, some you might find more boring. Realistically, at the end of the day, it's just about repeating content that is at a level where you understand the majority of it, and you're just slowly introducing more and more content. And how you do that, it does not matter. You just got to do that. And depending on what skill you want to focus on, you've got your listening, your speaking, your reading, your writing. It's all the same thing. If you want to get good at speaking, you got to practice that. You got to repeat that over and over. It's the same with listening. If you want to get good at listening, guess what you got to do? Oh my God, shocker, you got to listen. Okay, same with reading and writing. Okay, all these methods that we've tested on this channel and people present within the community, they're all just, you know, new ways to spin that core concept of you have to spend a lot of time with the language and basically just slowly, progressively overload what you're doing with it.
And this is one of those amazing videos where if you just watch it once and then never watch another language learning video again and completely act upon that video in its entirety, you will get fluent. It's just that powerful. And it's literally the only thing that you need. Just that 4-minute video right there will save you hundreds of hours, right? And so that kind of begs the question, why do I make language learning videos going over a bunch of really complicated topics and theories and all this type of stuff like that, if I'm such a proponent of this very simple video that really just cuts through all the noise?
Because you're probably like everyone else out there. I'll let you speak in a second, but you're probably like everyone else out there. There's got to be a magic key. I will find it. I will find that one thing that will unlock everything. No, we're curious people. We like to explore the options and see if there is a new way to, because it's the same thing over and over and over. But we want to do it in a slightly different way. It's like, imagine if you had to eat the exact same friggin' sandwich every single day for the rest of your life. You're gonna find ways to spice up that sandwich. You may end up eating it while hanging upside down or some crazy shit, just to make it interesting, you know what I mean?
There's multiple reasons for this. Let's use the fitness industry as an example, right? If you want to lose weight, build muscle, and build up a generally good physique, really, it's an extremely simple process, just like language learning. It's not easy, as in like there's no lazy way, there's no easy way, but it's a very simple process. All you have to do is go to the gym a couple times a week, lift with decent intensity using the right movement patterns, and then go home and eat high protein generally, and don't overconsume calories or underconsume calories. That's basically it. You do that over the course of years, you're going to have an amazing body. So why do people even make fitness content to begin with then, right? It's the same.
It's also because people, a lot of the content and a lot of the reason people will watch, content like that I make is because it's just inspiring. It's inspiring in the way that, oh, look, this person is on the grind every single day. So if he's on the grind, I feel like I'm grinding with someone. It's like, it's so much more fun to go to a gym with someone else and do the exercises with them there. A lot of people who follow my Dreaming Spanish series, they follow it, or there's some people, obviously, they follow it because they want to know the outcome of the experiment. And there's some people that just follow it because they kind of see it as keeping themselves in check. They're like, oh, yeah, am I behind Evildea? No, I'm ahead of him. It's just inspiring overall, just, to know someone else is on the path with you.
Kind of concept, right? And so for me, there's an element of passion that goes with it. I'm not just interested in learning a language for the benefit of learning a language. I'm kind of fascinated by the process in and of itself and the different ways that you can apply different tactics and techniques and all that stuff. So the process in and of itself is something that I'm fascinated with. And that's, I think, a lot of you guys can relate to. You watch this content not entirely because of just pure practical benefit, but also because it's kind of entertaining to see like what works and what doesn't, and how you can like hyper optimize and use very specific tactics to get specific results. And so it's mostly like a passion thing for me in regards to that. Another huge reason is because a lot of people don't like taking these very broad frameworks that are guaranteed to work and then figuring out how to apply it in their own life. Because to take something as broad as listen and repeat sentence patterns or go to the gym and lift heavy, right? To take something that broad and put it into a specific actionable plan for yourself takes a lot of trial and error to figure.
It's also because it seems too simple. Like if someone comes up to me and says, hey, how do I learn? Like, I've had people ask me this before, and like they'll go, how can I learn, French or whatever? And I'll be like, okay, well, just grab a textbook, grab, one that's, you don't have to be a textbook or whatever. Just grab something, work your way through it a little bit day by day, and watch content in the language that you can kind of understand. Just do that every day. You'll get there eventually. Sure, there's ways to optimize that, improve it. There's, all these things, but they're like, that's like the 80-20 rule. As long as you do that first part, the 80%, just work with the language a little bit every day, you'll get there eventually. And they're like, that easy? And I'm like, well, it sounds easy. Now you got to go do it. That's the hard part, doing it every goddamn day.
Figure out what works for you. And ultimately, at the end of the day, you're going to have to go through that trial and error. But by learning from other people's experiences and by seeing what other people have tried out, you're able to shorten that amount of trial and error. The only way to learn is from failure, but you don't have to learn from your own failure kind of thing, if you get what I'm saying, right? And so ultimately what I'm kind of doing is taking this idea, this overarching concept of you have to grind and you have to repeat sentence patterns, and I'm making a bunch of variations of that main idea. And then one of those variations, or maybe even a few of those variations, will really resonate with you personally. I think there's a lot of value to be had from that. So in conclusion, if you want to learn a language fast, take as many sentences as you can in a day, add it to a flashcard system, and listen and repeat until you can no longer handle it. And repeat that process over and over again until there's hundreds of sentence patterns that you can say pretty effortlessly. The only thing that I would really add to this video, which he does clarify in later videos, is that on top of this deliberate listen and repeat practice, you have to actually use the language, whether that be actually having conversations and practice speaking properly, or actually like listening extensively so you can actually learn how to like hear and digest entire conversations, entire arguments, and things like that. So pair this with plenty of input like listening immersion and you're good to go, right? And so at the end of the day, in conclusion, if you want to learn a language and you want to learn a language fast and effectively, listen and repeat sentence patterns, listen as much as possible to the language in general, and have conversations with people. Do that over the course of 2 years.
Wow, this is really poorly placed. Like, just slap straight in the middle of your face type of thing.
And you're going to get fluent. All right, thank you.
Okay, yeah, that was a good summary of my video. He seems to have understood the points of what I was trying to get across with it, and also, what I talk about on channel. Let's see what the comment section says, because there's always someone in the comment section, and it's great to read comments about me on other people's channels because they think they're safe. They think I don't find them. We're going to find them. I find it ridiculous that people follow one method religiously. For me, I just go with the flow and use little parts of each method. Each method has pros and cons. Be balanced to activities that you generally enjoy. That's fine. Like, some people like following the exact same thing over and over because the structure of it means that they don't have to plan it. They don't have to think about it. They just sit down and they go, okay, this is what, for example, the ALG method. If you don't have to think about the method, you just sit down and watch content every day and just track your hours and that's it. Like, you don't really have to think about it type of thing. I don't know who it was. It might have been Einstein or something where they asked him, why does he wear the same shirt every day? And it's like, it's one less thing to think about. So that's why some people like sticking to the exact same method. I watch the guy sometimes. I like that his channel is plain and straightforward. For me, listening, reading, then sentences to utilize new grammar and vocabulary have been the best method. I don't stress myself out if I don't study as much as sometimes. Yeah, I go with the thing you must do something with the language every single day, unless of course you're sick type of thing. Because what happens is if you drop it because you just want to take a day off, it becomes easier and easier to drop it a second day, third day, and then just completely forget about it, like you're 6 months down the track. While I agree in a crude and simple way for most languages, there are languages which need a deeper processing of grammar concepts along with the sentences. Chinese words are quite static. This guy doesn't realize that, I've learnt a bit of Latin and also Esperanto using this, and the grammar in those languages, it's not like Chinese, okay? It's very different. So you've got conjugations and all that type of stuff that go with it. And sure, you could say those aren't complex ones, say to, Russian or something. The same system works. Trust me, there's nothing special about it. The conjugations and stuff, you just build out sentences to learn them, okay? The guy kills Elmo. I think nothing in the language learning process is wrong, even though something's more efficient. Some may be not such efficient, but all of this counts. Yeah, that's kind of true. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're doing an efficient method. If you just stop and, don't continue, then obviously it's not very efficient because you stopped. So you got to keep going. That's the main thing. What I don't like about his method is he uses AI to generate the sentences. I've never found an AI that recreates the way natives actually speak. I understand the concern here, but also that's not really an issue unless you're already at a very advanced level most of the time, okay? Or it's a language that doesn't have much input available for AI language models, like, these large language models to work with. If you're working with like a small language, let's say like Klingon or indigenous language where there's just not much content available for it, yeah, sure, okay, probably not a great idea to use AI. In that case, you're going to have to do something slower, such as sentence mine from books. But for when it comes to Chinese and stuff, it's not far off the mark, okay, most of the time, like unless you get right down into the weeds of it. But the point here is that you practice sentences, generic types of sentences and their structures that you can use, you chunk them so that when you actually start utilizing the language with natives, that's when you pick up all those kind of like little things that probably aren't even really written anyway, because, the way people speak is generally not the same as how they write anyway. I feel like this is one of those things where people worry about the details before actually figuring out the foundations. You missed the best language learning video ever. No, I didn't, and it's not the one that you feature here in this video. Ooh, okay, shit's about to get real. Let's go. What do you think is the best video? I don't mean to disrespect. Best video is Polyglotta Not How to Acquire Any Language Not Learn It. Oh, I've seen that video. I thought about doing a react to it. I don't think that's a great video because the guy in question, he's learning Arabic, but he already speaks like 6 or 7 languages and he doesn't really show his methods. He just kind of talks very generically about things. Apologies, but this is absolutely not the best language learning video. Check out How I Learned Norwegian. I've done a review to react to that one as well. Yeah, that's an okay video as well. Overall, I agree with most of the stuff she says in that video, although she had a pretty extensive silence period at the beginning, which I did not agree with. She's the real deal with no narcissism. Evildea reviewed her video and was clearly jealous or something because he acted very indifferent or unfair. What? My react to that video had like one point where I didn't agree with her. Jesus Christ, people take it in this day and age that if I don't agree with absolutely every point in a video, that I must hate you. Jesus. Whilst every serious language YouTuber creator was giving her kudos. What is this serious language YouTuber, bro? Like, you're gonna have to start taking me serious pretty soon. I'm starting to grow, my boy. I'm starting to grow. It's actually fucking crazy that I am growing as, you know, a language commentator. And it's crazy because I don't speak many languages. I'm not like a fucking giga chad when it comes to languages or anything. Yet people do listen to me. And I think it's because I'm not trying to sell bullshit. And I do point out, you know, the good and the bad of everything, even in my own journey and stuff. Okay, so yeah, anyway, pretty good video overall because, well, clearly he's agreeing with me and anyone who agrees with me is correct. So I will drop a link to his video in the description if you want to go check out his channel. He does pretty good videos overall. He doesn't get too much love from the algorithm. That's pretty much it. If you enjoyed the video, like, sub to the channel. I'll find you all in the next life if you don't, and I'll strangle you out with this freaking cable right here. Cool.